What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here with a wider camera so you can see all of my hand movements. But yes, today we are talking about the manga chapter 333 of Nanatsu no Tazai, titled A World Not Big Enough for the Both of Us. I wonder who that is referring to. It's obviously the Demon King of Elliot, which, weirdly enough, this chapter is apparently, at least it says that it's the end of the Holy War. Finally. Don't know why it's the end. Like, what could have possibly happened at the end of this chapter that could signify the end of a Holy War? Well, we'll just have to find out after really no cover page this time, but that's fine because we get right into the action where we see the entirety of the sins. Diane, Meliodas, Gowther, Merlin, Escanor, Bond, King all come together and get immediately stopped by the Demon King, which is very ironic because what happens is, like, they're all, like, ready to fight. They all have, like, the previous chapter, they all had, like, their funny, like, one quits and one liners against the Demon King. And then they're charging at him, and then the Demon King just uses his Death Zero, which is just this big black orb, and, like, confines the cleansing space. He's like, oh, you thought that you could defeat me? Now just sit there and disappear shortly with enough agony. Like, just the generic idea of, like, the villain, and, like, everyone is just, like, being put down by, like, this, like, gravitational pressure. Meliodas, Diane, like, King, Bond, Gowther, Merlin is saying some weird stuff. I don't know what she's doing, but the only one that is not held down by this power is Escanor. And he's like, I've destroyed mountains bigger than you. It's basically, and he fires off one of his sun attacks, which, and then even, like, during that time, even Bond is, like, going in for an attack as well, like, doing damage on the Demon King technically, which makes sense because if we want to be, like, real about this, like, the strongest people here are Escanor, King, Bond, and Meliodas. But when it comes to, like, this type of power, like, those who just are built on, like, pure strength is weirdly enough Escanor and Bond, because Bond is basically, like, is immune to this. That's why he's able to fight back, and Escanor is just so powerful that he's able to power through it. And so that's, like, just a cool thing that, like, we have realized that, oh yeah, these two are like kind of like the powerhouses, just pure force. And even with the attack that is, like, done on them, the Demon King is like, these attacks mean nothing because I cannot feel pain. I cannot feel fear. And Bond makes, like, the snarkiest comment that Bond can make while singing is, that you're pretty dead to me. So, which just makes the Demon King even madder. But during this, like, moment of rage when he's, like, putting on the pressure, Diane is like, I don't want to fight, but I'm gonna have to. And King is like, I have nothing to fear because I have to meet my goals. And Demon King is like, are y'all crazy? I'm about to kill you. There's nothing else that you can. And then Meliodas just says, Merlin! And Merlin's like, I got you. But after this, we're gonna be sleeping for a week. And, like, the orb disappears. There's just this big shining light, and Diane makes a comment that, hey, I'm filled with energy. So it's very obvious what Merlin did, especially with, like, the chant that you can kind of see beforehand, which is, like, like, setting for this, is that she basically, like, had a spell that basically, like, increased their power significantly for the short amount of time to give them enough power to break out the orb. And, like, even the Demon King recognizes this, and it's like, oh yeah, you're the Bellalu's daughter, what, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's like, you little witch, you tricked me back then. And then Merlin, being Merlin, is like, yeah, you were in my way then. Which means that she probably did something to the Demon King. The Demon King is on there, and she's like, well, you shouldn't, this is all your fault. And I just enjoy, like, just that Merlin attitude. And then we immediately cut over to basically the Demon King just going in on the sins, like, just whipping his little Cthulhu tendril, just whipping it everywhere, like, he doesn't care. And then after that, we basically just get like the seven deadly sins throwing out their most powerful attacks. Meliodas does a trillion dark, which is just a bunch of dark orbs. Escanor does his final prominence. Here's something new. Gowther uses Kill Switch, and you may be wondering, like, well, why did you stop there? Well, in this chapter, Gowther is kind of the MVP, and it all comes to that Kill Switch, which I'll explain what it does later. But then after that, we just see Diane use a jet hammer, which is literally just like a flying fist. So it's, you can call it like flying fist attack, just all that. And then obviously Bond, he uses his crazy rush, which is like when he has his sacred gear, just throws it everywhere, as well as King using his sacred gear, Spear of Judgment. And what is cool is, like, they're all like flying. You can all see the separate attacks, but then all of a sudden, and the Demon King is like, oh, have you forgotten about my ability to reflect everything? And which I'm thinking, actually, yeah, we kind of did forget, because you, like, never really used it. Like, you used it once against Meliodas and Bond, and then you really haven't used it since. But, like, he's thinking at this moment, like, oh, you can't, like, reflect my ability, even though I haven't really been using it most, if not all of this final fight. But he's like, but I'm using it. No, you cannot stop me. And here's where Gowther's kill shot comes. His kill shot comes in. He's like, and what's funny is Merlin explains, it's like, actually, because of Gowther's kill shot, he negated your abilities. Sorry, you can't use it anymore. Also, power conversion unity is what Merlin does, and she just fuses all of the powers together to just this one, just screw off, like, meteor, like, just bullet, just on fire. And then the Demon King's like, you cannot do this, fires off his ball, and Gowther just makes the comments like, yeah, you can't defeat us, this is the power of, like, all of our hearts combined, which is kind of cheesy. But as soon as he says that, it just bursts the Demon King's, like, dark sphere, and the Demon King just starts crying. Like, not literally crying, but, like, he starts, like, pleading for his life, and just like, my sons, would you kill your father? Your own father? And you would think that no one would fall for it. But Meliodas, with his eyes covered, like the protagonist of an anime and manga that he is, comes in, full counters the shot away from the Demon King. And the Demon King's just like, Meliodas, you saved me. Maybe I should reconsider being... Well, just instantly it's like, wow, you were so stupid. Goodbye. Cuts Meliodas in half. But as we know, with his sacred gear, he's able to multiply himself and make doubles of himself, and that's kind of what he does. And the Demon King says, a mirage? And you just have Meliodas up in the sky. He's like, yeah, I tried to give you a chance, but you did that with no hesitation. So, full counter. And then the fireball gets big, and it, like, grazes the Demon King like it is new Cthulhu Earth body, damages him, flies out the back. Meliodas appears there, does full counter again. And we get a reminder of what his full counter does, because, apparently we forgot what it does, but it basically doubles his attack. So, like, if we count out how many times he's attacked, he did it once to defend, once to redirect, he redirects it a third time, redirects it a fourth time, a fifth time, and a sixth time. So, doubling a double of a double of a double of a double of a double. That's either 12, 2, 4, 8, 16. I think that's 32, 64. It's either 12 or 64 times stronger. Actually, he does it one additional time, so that 64 may go to like 128 or 14, whichever. I don't know. Math is difficult. Either way, Meliodas just delivers the final blow, and the Demon King is like, but what about Britannia? Well, here's another piece of information. He wasn't just volleyballing the ball, just willy-nilly adding more power. He's like, he's basically thinking his mind, like, let's find, like, the best way to, like, aim this ball at the Demon King and not destroy the entirety of the world. Here we go. Just sends an air. It just says goodbye, father, and has like one of the like greatest names of the attack, Fate of the Discordant. It's a weird word. Discordant foe. It's not as great as I thought, but it's just like a combo attack name. And it's like all of the combat just basically obliterates Cthulhu Demon King's body. And we get, at the end of it, that's not the ending. You would think that's the end, but actually towards the end, we see the Demon King, weirdly enough, without his head, he kind of looks like an alien. It's kind of creeping me out. But he basically gives like this speech to Meliodas, where he's like, they talk about the cycle of darkness and light and how like, basically like what you have done is never ending. And he's like, you're aware of that, right? And Meliodas says, of course I am. And his father like fades into feathers and into little petals, and it's in big bold letters at the bottom of the page, the Holy War is concluded. And that's the end of the chapter. So this is a really good conclusion to this sense. I would have preferred Arthur to be in it. We still don't get the conclusion for Arthur, but like relatively speaking, like everything that has like come from it, it's kind of like iffy. Probably the main thing that rubs me the wrong way is the fact of the Demon King just elaborates. It's like, oh, I have this ultimate power. You cannot stop me. I reflect everything back at you while taking it away. And then they just have that's the one thing that throws me off. Like Gowther having the ability to like turn off of like an ability. I'm fine with that, because the idea of it is the original Gowther literally wiped and like altered the minds of everyone in Britannia, in the demon world, in the angel world, even the Demon King himself. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is like the Demon King's like, this is an ability that like cannot be stopped, even though you stopped me the first time, and I really didn't use the fight the second time, and really not in this fight either, but like you cannot stop my attack. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. But I think that's just like brought gravitas of the Demon King, and like how like I will admit I did not see like Meliodas saving him, but it makes sense that this is his test. Like he gives second chances to pretty much everyone. He gave it to his brother. He gave it to the Demon King. He kind of gave it to the dude who like imitated one of the Holy Knights, even to like the Holy Knight killers, to let me see, Hendrix and Dreyfus. Like he gave them second chances, as well as like the commandment that like took over. I think it was Dreyfus's body. Like he gave like pretty much everyone a second chance. So it makes sense that he would give the Demon King a second chance, and it makes sense that the Demon King would waste it. So all in all, I think it was a really good chapter. And as I said, I did enjoy in chat last chapter. I enjoyed the interaction between the sins. And probably my favorite part of this chapter is just Bond saying, whoa, if you can't feel pain or fear, then you're already dead, basically. And I just enjoyed that. Just Bond is, like, amazing. Diane is still my favorite sin, but Bond is just hilarious. And I just enjoy how he sings all the time, because I relate to that. I sing most of the time. Unfortunately not here, but for most of the time I do sing. But that's the end of the chapter. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. If I could give it a score, I'll probably give it a solid 4. If I remember last week was a 3.5, I think this is a solid 4. It doesn't reach that 4.5 or 5, mainly because of like the Demon King's like basically saying like he's indestructible, like the generic idea of the Demon King, and even like the generic speech of like friendship would solve everything. But yeah, I think I'll give it like a 4, mainly because of like the interactions, just the being able to see all of their attacks, even like the small things that was like kind of foreshadow for what will happen next if you caught on. So all in all, a really good chapter, solid. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully you enjoyed the chapter, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now. Ooh.